one, action.
Hi, I'm Olivia Mulligan and I'm a poet, and today I'm going to be taking you through a poetry workshop here at Ripon Cathedral. Now, if you'd have told me that I'd be doing this a year ago, I never would have believed you, not even in the slightest, because I actually became a poet and wrote my book, Poems on the Gatepost, only last year during the coronavirus lockdown. You see, I was told I needed to shield, so I couldn't go into work. And during this time, I wrote a poem every day whilst shielding. The project lasted for 70 days, so I wrote 70 poems, and each day would pin them on the gatepost at the end of the drive for passers-by to read. I left my phone number for people to text in suggestions for the following day's poem too. This whole idea was actually given to me by my mum, and when she first told me, "You should try write a poem every day, it might make you feel better," I honestly thought that could never be possible. How could I come up with something every day, or how could I be motivated to write so many poems? But just after a few days of writing, honestly, it wasn't a challenge at all. And at a time that was actually really uncomfortable, the act of writing the poems made me feel hopeful for the future. So I'll run you through one of the poems. Let's do the first one in the book that basically explains that story that I've just told you. It's called The Lockdown Clock. Lockdown clocks move slowly, ticking and then eventually tocking. Tick tock, tick to the tock, I watch the clock, ticking, tocking. Mocking our isolation, clocking our agitation, blocking our entire nation from thriving. Wrong, my mother told me. Embrace this time, she said. Use it to chase your dreams, face your fears, place your priorities, trace what's holding you back. Create space for a space to learn. Pause, breathe, slow down and showcase your passion. Lace your days with writing, inviting others to read, uniting people with prose, or even better, poetry. So, like I said before, never in a million years did I think a year later, in 2021, I would be outside Ripon Cathedral about to offer you a poetry workshop, but wondering myself, should I even go inside? Can I go inside to look around and see? The door seems to be open, but is it open for me? Seriously, can I go in to shelter when it rains? Am I allowed to enter the peace and quiet, mesmerized by the stained rainbows on the glass? I honestly don't know. Is this doorway here for me? Can I go inside to look around and see? I'm no good at singing hymns, and I don't regularly pray. So if I take that step inside, will somebody be there to say, "You don't belong here"? They say it's a place of sanctuary, but what does that even mean? They say it's a place of safety. So do I deserve to be seen? Because I'm not currently in danger. But a place of sanctuary is a place for all, including you, including me. It's a place of hope, a place to belong, a place to be and let be. So let's go in. A place of sanctuary is a place where everyone is invited. It's a place where everyone can belong. And it is like a doorway to the world. So now, a little exercise for yourself. I'd like you to discuss, where is your place of sanctuary? And now for the next exercise, with a bit of paper and a pen, I'd like you to describe your place of sanctuary using only colours. And now describe this place of sanctuary using only sounds. And this place of sanctuary, what does it feel like to you? I know that I feel secure, hopeful, and connected. And I actually get those same feelings when I'm writing, especially when I'm writing poetry. Last year when I wrote my book, and when I was writing a poem each day for 70 days, it really gave me that feeling of security, feeling hopeful, and feeling connected. And in a time when the world felt like a particularly lonely place, the act of writing poetry somehow made me feel connected to others. Here's one of my spoken word poems, The Lockdown Conversation. Oh, hi. Hiya, you all right? You look cute. No, mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Mute. Maybe it's my compute. No, it's yours. It's you. Mute. Maybe try and restart or reboot and, oh, she's gone. Looks like it's a video chat for one. So might as well ramble on, a little solo liaison, the chance to expand upon the current lonely situation, chit-chatting to myself for the duration, just me, myself and I, here in isolation, the blank screen consultation, my lockdown conversation. Hi. Hiya, hun. So in this lockdown, what have you done? Have you learnt any skills or have you begun your to-do list? Have you cycled or been for a run? Have you learnt French just for fun? Have you done a ton of DIY and each day thought, I have outdone my pre-lockdown self? No. Nope. Not at all. The answer is no, hun. My to-do list, I haven't begun. I've not done a ton of housework. I've just done a ton of eating packet pasta. And no, I'm not any faster because I haven't been for a run, and I haven't learnt French just for fun because I got bored at un. And the only thing I've outdone is my online shopping habit. Now the owner of a lizard and a dwarf rabbit. Yeah, you see, I have certainly spun out of control. Control, that's something I lack, and you're back. Hi. Hiya, hun. So, one of the main things I love about writing, especially writing poetry, is the ability to feel connected to others in some way. Hopefully you can relate to this poem in particular. It's called Homeschooling. In maths, we attempted fractions. Mum drank half a bottle of wine. She said it was from Bordeaux, so that's maths and French combined. It seems food tech was cancelled because we ran out of penne pasta. English was cancelled too, so that the day was over faster. And geography has been postponed because foreign travel is denied. What about rocks instead, I asked, collecting some gravel from outside. Now after lunch was drama, though I wasn't the starring role. Parents argued like EastEnders. Who used the last of the toilet roll? But in art, we made new toilet roll, Pritt sticking Kleenex together. For PE, Mum had good intentions, but sunbathed because of the weather. Don't see the point in history, she said. We're writing the books today. For music, she continued to sunbathe, singing Deja Vu by Beyoncé. And it's 3 o'clock already, and today has been fun, although perhaps I'll make the suggestion that I'll teach Mum tomorrow. And before we get writing our own poems today, hopefully this poem here inspires you that you can write something really amazing, even if you don't think you can. It's called Write Something, Anything. One doesn't need war wounds or love letters in lockets. One doesn't need certificates or money in one's pocket. If you can see light in the dark and sculpt shapes in the light, if you can play with possibilities, you can certainly write. You do not have to be right to write, and you do not have to be heard. Paint words to ponder, to discover, to be incorrectly absurd, or correctly absurd, if that's what you choose. Write with your stomach, your heart, write with nothing to lose. One doesn't need approval or heavy intellect. We write to taste life twice, taste the moment, taste retrospect. Let's write to taste life twice, in poetry and in prose. To survive, we must tell stories. So let's see how our story goes. So that's probably enough right now from me, and we'll go over to you. Today I want you to write a poem about a doorway that leads to a place of sanctuary. Firstly, to warm up, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to brainstorm and write down all the words you can think of about your place of sanctuary. For example, I chose Cathedral, Ripon Cathedral, and I wrote down the words stained glass, cross, altar, hymns, etc. So, my top tips for writing your poem is that it can rhyme, but it doesn't have to. It can be as long or as short as you like. I want you to pay particular attention to sound and rhythm. And I want you to pay particular attention to creating a certain image. Okay, so now it's time for you to write your poem about a doorway to a place of sanctuary. But you know that list that you've just done of all those words relating? So mine was the stained glass, the altar, the cross, the hymns. That list you've got there of words, the challenge is when writing your poem, you're not allowed to use any of those words. I'm sorry, and I know that sounds a little bit overwhelming, but you can change those words. So for example, I've changed stained glass to stained with rainbows, and I've changed hymns to echoing song. The idea is that we can change the ordinary into something really beautiful and creative, and I know you can do it. So, are you ready? How does 20 minutes sound? I can't wait to see them.